are. Nathan going to be running that third sub on certain maps. It seemed to pay off, at least in the Pro League Challenge, but again, it's not quite the stakes that you have here when you're talking about the Pro League. So it'll be interesting. And then Envy, you know, we talked about it on Trading Shots. We discussed a little bit on Hot Mic, but I think we're all kind of curious. Is this team back? Are they ready to prove they belong in the conversation as a top team? This week could tell us a lot.
Here's what I love. Epsilon are going to get tested right off the break of this map. Right off the break of this series, London Docks Hardpoint. Fast-paced, aggressive, and already they're 4 dead, 1 kill from every person on Envy. Legitimately a flawless start. You couldn't ask for much more if you're a Boys in Blue fan.
Very, very true. Let's see if they can keep it going. Classic. Set up top middle. You see a couple players getting ready to push him there on X-Ray, but textbook stuff from Envy thus far. Finally, a couple kills going the way of Epsilon top mid. With 30 seconds left here, we'll start thinking about the bottom of the map there as they'll try to set up for spawns. As of now, Envy still in control. Epsilon is looking to get a first point on the board.
Yeah, Hockey actually cuts back towards that mid gate and gets a 2-piece in middle to try to give his team a chance to fight for mid-hill control. That's exactly what happens, and now off of that, they're going to get the scrap time and more move towards those spawns. These next few gunfights, absolutely key. The one thing is really right now, Envy, only one place that can spawn out. It's in lower docks on the opposite side by Red Train. This kill here, though, should free up that low dock spawn. Envy will have early control, and they'll build a nice lead here in Hill 2.
And Slasher's got pushed all the way up into Underground. He's picking up kills all the way across the map. Look how far they're forcing those spawns out. This is brilliant from Envy. They've got them spawning all the way out at docks. You're going to have a big push from the back, though. Slasher's going to have a lot to deal with right now as they're going to fly through. They're going to have to rotate at least one player back. Yep, the Classic comes back. Hook swaps into the hard point. Now they're set up with 2 players to deal with this push. Epsilon's about to take their first crack at the hard point. Jack, we're 30 seconds into it.
Yep, they literally have taken 15 seconds to move back here. We'll see if it pays off in the long run. Right now it's Slasher, and we've seen him do this all the time, Maven. He's more than happy to fall on back, let his submachine guns watch that cross by buses, and just do what he does best, and that's fire bullets from range with that FG.
Well, they continue to take control of this game. They'll rack up the remaining time here. And the big thing will be whether they can win this rotation and bust in easily into docks. They do that, they'll start to really open up a big lead here. Temp did drop a little bit ago to Dave's grenade, which he was, I think, on a 4 or 5 streak. He was getting a little bit close to streaks, but did end up falling, so a little bit of a silver lining there from Epsilon. And now, can they lock this down? They're in the docks warehouse. They've got good control of top middle. Hockey just lined up all 3 top mid, so as a push does try to come in, everybody drops from Envy. Now they're going to have to take a second crack at it. This is where Epsilon can get back into the game.
Yeah, but look at this pinch developing now for EnVyUs. They've got 1 player across the map. Thankfully, Vortex with a 2-piece should relieve the pressure. Hockey with 5 in a row now, and he'll play his life. 1 kill off earning at least 1 of those streaks. We'll see if that comes to play here. And Epsilon now battling back. They had a combined 10 kill streak right there, Maven.
And we talked about how impressive it was in the last hard point with Envy spawning Epsilon out so far. They couldn't really get going until halfway through. Epsilon does the same thing here. Finally, you're able to contest if you're Envy, but so much time has gone in. Hockey started to pick up some streaks here. He's up to 6 kills in a row. This has been fantastic stuff to get right back into this game. They could technically take the lead.
And I love what he's doing. He's playing these off angles. He's not flying out and challenging ridiculous things. He's waiting for people to kind of walk into his crosshair. We saw that with the first streak he earned. Now you've got Vortex, the fighter pilot, and Glide Bomb as well. All the pieces falling into place for Epsilon, but London Docks, Maven, a map where the streaks aren't nearly as important or game-changing as some of the other map and game mode combinations we play.
Well, you are going to have a lot to work with, though, at least. Some streaks coming in and more earned on the backside. Hockey continuing to make plays here.
Hockey hasn't sprinted in the last minute and a half. He's playing so passively. Now he'll finally go for the final challenge, and it's to try to hopefully help be that leading player to push his team into the hard point. But either way, Envy do have control right now, but talk about a slew of streaks to have if you're Epsilon.
And how important is that performance actually going to be in the Pro League Challenge from Epsilon? Maybe it will just be a confidence booster from them. We know the stakes aren't as high as this, but who knows, man? Maybe just get a couple of victories there, whether it's online or not, might help them.
It's exactly what Joe talked about in the green room before the matches today. We were bringing up, you know, what does it do for a team when you have some role swaps and you maybe change some things up? It gives you that breath of fresh air. Many times for teams, you know, there's mindset issues and, you know, they're just eternally on tilt. They're not confident. Changing something up like this and having some good performances like that Pro League Challenge from Epsilon could be the difference maker for them to get their heads back in the game and begin to see some success.
Well, we'll see if they start to fight here in Division B. Right now, trailing by just under 40 points here, but you do still have a ton of streaks to work with on the side of Epsilon. Aki still hasn't invested anything into it yet. He will finally get tagged up, 2 kills from behind, but they're still in the hard point making plays, and Vortex almost able to cut down a couple, but it's Classic that actually finds the entry, then finds the kill at the top of Fire Steps. Nice play from him. They've got the bottom spawn still. They're trying to flush through, but EnVy doing a good job to at least crack through, make sure Epsilon can't get too much time here.
And finally, the players of Epsilon spawn out. EnVy will get this scrap time, and with how good Epsilon have matched EnVy so far in slaying, look at the difference in the score. A 60-second difference. Obviously, a lot of that time, Maven comes in at that second hard point when EnVy got that perfect setup and Epsilon can never break through. We'll see if they can do a better time in our second rotation of breaking that hill. And,
you know, it's also interesting, you know, we talked about the fact there's a bit of a weapon change here. I mean, Nathan's the one that makes a key one to that third sub, and he's sitting at 6 and 13 right now. So it's not going super well for them right now. Can it turn around? Sure, but again, these are things that can take some time.
Yeah, I mean, even think of what it did for Optic on a map like this when they wound up having Formal begin to use that SMG some more.
He dropped 49, though,
right?
the first time he did. A little bit different.
But no, what I'm saying is, like, it either works very well or it's something that needs to be worked on. And
yeah.
Formal, I think I have a little bit more confidence in him making a transition to a sub and excelling faster than the likes of maybe Nathan. But either way, it's definitely a growing period. Right now, Epsilon seeing that with his performance at 8 and 14.
And another big thing that stands out for me with EnVy having this lead, the fact we've talked about Slasher, the fact he's sitting around a 1.6 KD. He's been absolutely unreal. And they talked about it on Hot Mic, like how long can he actually keep this up? I haven't seen it with a 7 and 16 stat line in quite some time. And I mean, they still have the lead. It's not that big of a deal, but it stood out with how perfect he's almost been, just talking stat-wise.
Yeah, first map of the week. Might have a slow start. London Docks, a map that we see a little bit more sub-aggression on and more success with. Here comes the fighter pilot now from the side of EnVyUs. This one's from Who. At least kill one. Can't chain together the second, and even after that, Maven, all spawns are still controlled by Epsilon. Kind of a best-case scenario right there if you're playing for the European team.
They've got the bottom spawns. They've invested a streak here now to counter one that came in from EnVy. Aki trying to play the edge. Classic and company pushing on forward. Nathan's able to pick up 1 kill in the back. But it is still EnVy racking up time. Epsilon's going to have to make a play. They were waiting for 2 to come off spawn. Now they go. Spawn comes in. Timp wants nothing to do with it. He finds 2 kills and hops in the hard point.
It seems like there's a couple pacing kind of decisions that we're seeing from Hawkeye that his team isn't matching up with. Like right there, waiting for the opponents to push, trying to play that cross and get the kills. It just looks awkward. I mean, the man's got just now 8 seconds inside the hard point. Yes, he is doing well in slaying, but again, with adding that third submachine gun, it creates kind of this awkward scenario where different paces are showing up, players having to play a little bit more aggressive. Again, I think it's a part of that learning curve for Epsilon.
Well, they'll continue to try and get it figured out here, but Timp will be the first man into the hard point, contested right now by Dave on the other side of things. 4 players stacking up the push through now from EnVy, but it's Dave with the first kill. Hawkeye trying to pinch from the opposite side. He's going to find what looked to be a free one on Classic. They somehow don't react in time, even though the shots are coming in. Well, now he realizes his teammate did pick it up, but he gets the 2 from the backside, even after putting shots in one outside box.
Epsilon is slaughtering EnVy on the Docks Warehouse hardpoint. Literally, if EnVy split any of this time with Epsilon so far this map, we would have almost a game that's over.
Yeah, but the first one, it was really just they contested a little bit. I don't think they got any real time out of it at all.
This is literally the hill where they've earned every single one of their streaks so far on this map. 165 to 150, that big lead at 60 seconds, now down to just 20 for EnVyUs. If EnVy get these 10 seconds of scrap time here, it'll be more time than they've earned in the entirety of the first 2 Docks Warehouse hills.
And we've seen teams win hard points that way. Like, you look at the breakdown after the match, and they, got beat up a little bit on 3 hard points, but slaughtered a team on one particular hill. We've seen teams come out on top, so maybe that's Epsilon's chance.
They've played the other hills close enough where they're within reach. They now just need to improve on some of these hard points. Maybe it starts right here. At this barrel hard point, you see Slasher on the flank. He gets at least 1 and earns himself streaks, so that slow start for him, it seems to be slowly diminishing away, but at the same time, I think it's diminishing as well as this EnVyUs lead now within 15 seconds are Epsilon.
Goes in through the top there with the glide bomb. I thought that was going to connect on at least 1. The mortar then comes up from Epsilon in response. Doesn't connect with anything either. Slasher still has a fighter pilot to work with, but yeah, he's going to get caught with an awkward timing there as he tries to hit in through water steps. Can't make the play. Still contested, all but a tie game right now. 1 point advantage for EnVy.
That's fine. That's fine if you're Epsilon. Look at the spawn you just get. Great. You push for 5 more seconds of scrap time if you're EnVy. Epsilon now have the best setup they can ask for at the new hill. EnVyUs at least still have a couple streaks to work with, I believe. Slasher with 1. You see the fighter pilot. This is the hill to use it if you're going to wind up calling in one of those streaks. Slasher about to get flooded. There's really no one here for help on EnVy.
Does he need it is the question. Still making the plays. We talked about the fact he was 7 and 17. He's picked it up big time since then. He's gone 11 and 5 since we discussed it, and now the streaks will come in.
This is their chance. They finally outslay lower docks. Fighter pilot called in. One dead. Can't chain. There's a second on a Dave. Now Envy will surge on into the hard point. Slasher's job, he's got to watch this cross now from the top spawns into the hill. And he's dead.
Yeah, and they're going to continue spawning top. They still have one Envy player all the way in beer, so they didn't even have potential to spawn Epsilon out too far. They kept spawning safe there at the bottom of the screen. The bottom of the minimap, that is.
There you go.
But they wipe all 4. And Temp, 5 streak. Very, very close to streaks here as well. Can he line up a couple of kills? He's going to get the hard point time here, which is at least going to pick him up.
Very even matchup. I will say that. Epsilon still look like a threat here in the first match of the day.
That gunfight was for a glide bomb, though.
Yeah, it most certainly was. 211 to 190. Envy now getting into the hills where they've seen a majority of their success so far on this map. But another fighter pilot called on in. That one from Vortex. He's only able to get one. As Nathan's just sitting in the hard point, but his feet are shown. And there's the kill from who?
Just streaks coming out everywhere from either side, and Temp wipes 3. That'll be a big chunk of time here. Classic sees where the spawn is coming in. The big thing from Epsilon, you somehow have to force this to docks again. Like, how do you put up enough time to get there is the question. With it being this close, Epsilon just near the 200-point mark, Envy about to crack the 230 mark. Do you even have the opportunity to get that far is the big thing.
You don't want to give up this much scrap time to Envy. You don't want them to be within 5-6 seconds of winning the game. They will get to 234. It's absolutely still possible for Epsilon to win this map, but they need a flawless rotation here towards the second hard point.
Yep, they've got to break through, and Classic is still there. Slasher is set up in the back, and now they get a split spawn. So 2 players from Envy are going to be hitting the backside. Will Epsilon be ready for it?
This split could be huge for Team EnVyUs. 1 player challenging the hill. That's going to be Nathan. He's been spotted. He has not been eliminated. He actually gets 2 of them, and he's still on the hard point for a second. Actually kills a 3rd as well.
Nathan goes nuts there, but you still the spawn if your Envy's the big thing. Yeah, you kill 3, they spawn 10 feet away, and they're right back in. Hook able to try and hit the back. Streaks do come in, but not enough. Envy withstand Epsilon there, but I'll tell you what, maybe a little bit closer than they like. I don't think I saw the signs of like happiness there from Envy. They were like, God, we should have blown that open a bit more.
We never really see signs of happiness from Envy, let's be honest. We've watched them win series and game 5s and they're arguing, but I swear, you can make a montage of this facial reaction after every winning map for Envy. Hey, they're hungry to improve and get better, and yes, there's frustrations there when maybe that map is a little bit closer than they would have wanted, but after this series, when the analysts break this down and they bring up kind of the hill breakdown map, you're going to see such a difference in score between that second hard point for Envy over Epsilon, and then that 3rd hard point, the Docks Warehouse for Epsilon over Envy.
It's the only reason Epsilon was in the game.
And honestly, the main reasons why Envy won the game is because of that second hill. So it's kind of funny to see how it all played out.
Certainly, but Epsilon close, but not close enough. Map 1 goes to Envy. Now, all right, let's get to Search and Destroy and see what the battle will be like here. I mean, Envy, I know, you heard me on both shows. I've been talking this team up. Yeah. I really know the potential's there. Maybe I'm talking up too much from a 3-0 start, but still, I'm waiting for this team. I know the explosion's going to come, and they're going to be contenders throughout the year. Don't know if they're there yet, but this is one where you expect them to secure a 3-0 victory with the way Epsilon has looked. Yeah. If this is a series that goes the distance, maybe it doesn't bode well for them right now.
I'll be honest, the reason why I'm kind of giving Epsilon a little bit more maybe credit than I would have in week 1 is because of the performance we saw from them in the Pro League Challenge.
That's true.
I honestly, if this was Friday and we just went to another day of matches and it was Envy versus Epsilon, from what I saw last week, I would have said 3-0 Envy. This is going to be a very quick match, and we'll get ready for our second series of the day.
Well, the big thing, though, we've talked to Temp a little bit. You heard the interview last week with Jess where he said, they're feeling pretty good about CTF and Hardpoint, but not great about their search. They have work to do in search. So this is going to be where if you're going to steal a victory, it's got to happen here from Epsilon. And I think after map 1, they show they can certainly hang. They belong in the Pro League, absolutely. Top 16 teams in the world are here, but they need to win this map too. They have to, or I feel it's a 3-0.
See if they can do just that. We'll keep you updated again throughout all the rest of this week on where the standings currently are, who's doing well, who's on the bubble. And we know that that's a story that we're going to go into. Maven did highlighted that after this week, this will be the halfway mark of Stage 1. Talk about series really picking up how important they are as we continue. We will look back at the end of Stage 1 and go, here's the story of when this team either succeeded or kind of faltered. And you'll be able to point out matches, and maybe it's a match like this. You heard the guys in Hot Mic talking about Epsilon need to start this week with a win over Envy, and they right now find themselves down 0-1.
They do, and you mentioned the halfway point. While we have a second here before the map starts, we can talk a little bit about the league. So I've gotten some questions about it because it is with the alternating weeks, it confused a couple people. Just to break it down, I mean, basically, it's double round robin. Once we get through this week, everyone will play the other teams in their division once. The reason that it's kind of 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off is basically you didn't want one division to come in, play for a month, have their 4 qualify, and then sit for a month waiting for playoffs. Because then you have a division that's basically coming off their month of playing, going fresh into playoffs while a team's been sitting around. So that's why we had that alternating 2-week period. So just to kind of explain at home, I've gotten some questions about that, but that's the reason behind it.
Also keeps it a little bit more fresh.
Yeah, that's true.
Cycling in and out.
Yeah.
I would not want anyone to have to spend 4 weeks in a row with Scump. That kid's annoying.
That's true. That's true.
We were done with him after the first week of matches.
That would be tough.
We all kind of get a little bit of a break there. But
little weasel.
Yeah, Ardennes Forest Search and Destroy up next as we see what Epsilon can do. Maven's calling this a must-win map. I'm kind of right there with you.
It's kind of a must-win series in a way, too. I mean, I know EnVy looked really strong last week, but this is one, going into Division B where, based on EnVy's recent performances, if you're Epsilon, you would have chalked this up as a series you need to win. And especially with their start to this actual division, I mean, for me, I don't know. I feel like Epsilon needs to win this. They're going to have a chance to even compete for top 4, and maybe competing for top 4 isn't realistic, and it may very well not be, but if it's going to be, it starts here.
All right, well, let's get it started. Sniper presence maybe brought out right off the break. We talked a lot about Ardennes Forest Search and Destroy and how it all plays out, but I think we'll have to talk a little bit more about it as we get a quick restart on the map. But I will say, we've seen teams begin to develop strategies just strictly based off of flooding the guy at the A wall, which is basically what you have to do. The meta right now, if you're going to push A, is throw everything in your arsenal at him and get him killed. Once you have control of the site, you're not really using nades to smoke middle or nade a spot. You just kind of get your cover and defend the bomb. But there are all-out assault plays on A where if you don't kill that player in that A cabin cover, you've almost given up the round. And I think that for some teams, it's a little bit tough for them to make that call and go for it. They'd rather maybe play a little bit more slow, look for a sniper pick. But the teams that are good at isolating and getting the kill on that player at A see success in the rounds and are on Ardennes Forest more than other teams that don't.
I was so distracted while you were talking about that because I was watching Temp, and it's so I can't tell when he talks if he's like, "Great job, guys," or if he's like just yelling at them about stuff. I literally cannot tell. Whenever we go to a camera shot of him, it seems like no matter what he's saying, it looks the same to me.
Yeah.
He could be bitching at all of his teteammates, or he can be saying, "Great first map win." I really don't know.
He totally could. As he's obviously one of the more.
Well, he's like animated, but like I feel like he's animated like no matter what he's saying. So I can't tell sometimes.
The best part is if you've watched his stream before, he's just like that at home. He's not hamming it up for the camera. That's what he's like. There we go. Now we're getting back into the map. Ardennes Forest Search and Destroy. Game 2 between EnVy and Epsilon. We're now. Whoa, what did my voice just do?
I don't know. I thought it was adorable.
I actually, as we're getting loaded in this map, Maven was laughing at me mid hardpoint. I was leaning on this chair, and I actually almost fell over.
Oh, yeah.
It like fell back, and I caught myself as I was mid-sentence.
That was very close.
I'm wondering if it was picked up on the stream because I almost.
You chuckled a little bit.
That just shows there are a lot of dangers in cast and Call of Duty that people don't understand.
No, we have to be in top physical form.
Just look.
If we're not at the peak of fitness, we wouldn't be able to do this job.
Look at us too. My goodness.
Here we go. Map 2. EnVy enjoying a 1-0 lead in this best of 5 to kick off week 4 of the Pro League. Week 2 here for Division B. Stuns out immediately. There will slow down who?
And I love that stun. That's something that you rarely see is a stun that deep. Typically it's when players begin to push out, but this has given Hockey all this positioning. And look, why would EnVy ever expect this?
Question is, can they then trade behind it? Oh, wow, you're lucky you get that last bullet. I thought Dave was going to get dropped and things were going to fall apart, but the fact that you get to top ruins here for Classic may be the difference maker. Nathan now has to wrap from that A site. Slasher has gotten set up with FG42 at top. Bomb is getting planted by Classic, and this is a very difficult round for Nathan.
And what I love is that EnVy don't hesitate at all with planting the bomb. They instantly get it down. Now they're in a 2 versus 1. As long as Slasher doesn't get picked up here, there you go. Location given away. The nade now used. He's got 1 week. Classic will just watch his cross. EnVy should win this round 10 out of 10 times.
Yep, looking strong. I was about to say he'd need to stick him, and I think he got darn close to it, but didn't get the kill. Now he's working his way up. Nice shots there on a Classic. That'll give him a chance. He's going to push Slasher, but Slasher able to win the one-on-one. You know, it's funny you say that, like they should win that 10 out of 10 times. It reminds me of how absurd that 1v4 from Arcades was, because that was from the same spot basically against 4 players. Like that's such a stupid thing to happen that he was able to get that 1v4.
And the reason why that was even close is Classics actually just sat crouched in the most popular area to sit. So it's like the first place you check. There you maybe want to see him shoulder peeking back and forth. give himself a chance to dodge the bullets and just play his life.
You rarely, early in the game, you rarely saw people get picked from that spot. Like, it was so dominant. But
Really
now,
quick, here's that all-out A assault I'm talking about. They're going to smoke. The smoke really isn't anything too crazy. Classically, at least be able to put down some shots. And look, he's got to fall back and play his life. If he dies here, this round will be tough to win for Envy, and just like that, he's dead.
Well, the big thing, you were able to get rotated over quickly here for your hook. He got set up in the back. He did tag up one, but I think he gets wall bang there from Hockey. Slasher, though, hits another one up on the cross, and now it's a 2v2 with Bomb Down.
And that's Bomb Down, and look at how fast Temp is playing this rotation. Will he spot Hockey's foot? It doesn't appear so. Obviously, X-Ray bringing our eyes towards the side. There's the kill for Temp. 2v1, and they know they have the Bomb Down. Slasher saving the round with that kill.
Nathan in another 1v2. A couple early in this game. But a bit more of a winnable scenario now, but not a pretty one, but a little bit more of a chance here. Let's see what he can do with it. I like this idea to wrap all the way around. You had a ton of time to work with. You may be able to give yourself a free kill if you catch him off guard. The question is, the internal timers here for Envy, will they start to sniff this out? They haven't yet. There's your first kill. Taking his time. Well, maybe took a little bit too much time. Now he took a bullet, but he hit fires through the window, and Nathan makes the play. 1v2. You gave him 2 cracks at it. He came up big this time.
Wow. And at that point, if you're Envy, you're going, I mean,
full hip fire.
Yeah, something's got to be going on here, right? I'm surprised they don't turn around a little bit
Well, that's what
earlier.
I'm saying. Like, I like the play from Nathan, but at some point, you got to think if you're Envy, like, all right, a ton of time's gone by here now. Is anyone going to check the flank? But that's a, I don't know. I'm going to say it's a tough spot to be in, but I like the play from Nathan.
Brilliant stuff from him to tie this game 1-1. And now he's going right back to where he always is, at that A wall. He's the assault rifle player for Epsilon who watches out for any sort of pressure near that side of the map.
Remember last time, they got Hockey up real up close and personal. This time he's going to be tucked away in you, and Envy taking their time with this push. Classic, your bomb carrier. Looks like he's going to be the first man in. Temp peeking as well to see what angle he can be. Dives across, a little bit of a bait and switch here. Nade will be coming in. Will it connect with anything? It does, but doesn't finish it. Well, it's actually Hook's grenade that gets a kill. Hook gets a second one there as he busts in through you. Big play from the youngster as he finds 2.
And Envy know exactly where the final 2 are. It's a standard setup on a map like this. 1 in middle map, 1 rotating from A. All they have to do is watch over either, you know, their back ruins or their front side. We just saw Temp actually go and check the back bunker area. They've got him spotted at middle map, 1 versus 3. Nathan keeps getting left in these positions, and they're getting increasingly tougher and tougher.
Yeah, right. Well, he clutched the 1. This is going to be so difficult. Nothing he can do there. And this is something we saw, we talked a little bit about with the LG kind of last week. Like when they wanted to do a full 4-man hit towards B, no one could seem to stop them. It's usually going to be a 4-on-2, right? For the most part, unless you see, who was it? United, I think, tried to stack 3 there. It didn't really work. But typically it's going to be a 4-on-2. As long as they trade effectively, they were getting into the B site and set up pretty much every single time. I know they stopped the first push, but that's because you got to take Hockey up in a really close position. You hit that stun.
Yep. You
got to mix it up a little bit. If you're just doing that standard 2-man hold.
And Envy actually keep getting hit by this stun. I'm wondering if they begin to play a mind game with this and have a round where they double switch to armored and then just kind of fly on through the stun grenade and try to catch players sprinting. They haven't done it yet, but again, super early in this game, 1st to 6. Wins the map, and players have been spotted. Slasher snaps right onto Dave to get first blood.
And these are the type of trades that you have to have if you're going to be the 2-man on defense. And I know, well, they actually have 1 near the A side, so they didn't even have a full 4-man push from Epsilon, but Nathan does end up picking one of the A sides. They think about rotating over. So Nathan now tacks on his 5th kill. He's 5-2 right now, matching Slasher on the opposite end of things. Bomb is down by the B site, though.
And Nathan gets that kill because he's been realizing Envy have been rotating so fast towards whichever site shows activity. So he recognizes that the player who plays that A cabin area of cover has already given up and rotated towards middle. So he just kind of gets a free kill there as he sprints through with an SMG. Unfortunately, though, not expecting them to counterflank him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Hook and Temp sync up. You know, one of your A players there grabbing Hook from B. They stick together and push through the flank. Get an easy kill there mid-map. Now, Hockey's chance for a 1v2. It seems like Epsilon's only chance of winning is going to be in some form of a 1v2, 1v3. He should be dead in a moment. Okay, wins that gunfight. I thought he was done. He's been tagged up, knows the second is here. Has to try and catch him. 5 seconds left, not able to do it. He was so weak and will drop. But this is...
Look. It's actually comedy. It is so funny to see.
But he could have been saying, like, guys, what are we getting for dinner later?
No, yeah, right, with how he looks. But that's the thing. I think they're wondering, They're cracking him up. Yeah, he's raging probably about something, and it's like it's a double-edged sword. He's keeping the team comms like light because they're laughing at the same time. He's like, we suck. Why are these rounds even close?
Well, I mean, close, but yeah, if you're Epsilon, I mean, you haven't had a round you've been favored in at all. You're always fighting down a man, down two.
See, look, here's EnVy's change.
And look how pushed up that number 5 got. Hockey's already into Bell. So I'm just waiting for him to start to push through as they start to stack into A. If he gets a really lucky timing, I think they're going back to watch the flank now. Hook's just pushed back to watch the flank. He should be dead.
Wow.
That was closer than I thought it was going to be. Very nice shots as he didn't have cover on it. But that's what I was saying. If the timing's a little bit off there, if he gets into a better position, he could really disrupt this push from EnVy.
And you know what works just as well as, killing the guy at the A cover, forcing them out of the A cover. They give up the site. 4 versus 2 now. You've got Hook on a 5 streak at 6 and 2.
And I think that's what's been kind of impressive for me for Hook. Like, I kind of made the comparison between Slasher and Hook and TJ Haley and Methods that we've seen. And Hook maybe hasn't been the all-star that TJ has been in search, but he's been very good. He's been dropping double digits really consistently lately, and he's having another nice one here, Jack.
2 versus 1 for EnVy. Again, these first bloods, these number advantages keep going to EnVyUs, and obviously they've done it, 5 rounds in a row now. They've only thrown away 1.
There isn't a round that Epsilon should have won.
Yep.
I mean, it took a pretty sick clutch.
I think that's a sign of just how good EnVy have been so far this map.
And EnVy, I believe they got knocked out map 5 by Unilad, I think, in the Pro League Challenge. So that maybe they're looking for a little bit of revenge on a European squad right now.
Stun's a little bit short for Epsilon. Looks like they want to flood this right away, but that nade from Slasher backs up 2 almost instantly.
And just think about how tough this is, man. You got Timp and you got Slasher, one of the best ARs set up in the back, and this just cannot be fun to go up against him when he's got the FG42 in this position, man.
We've seen what the great AR players in the league can do from a position like this. He's got naded by his teammate.
Might have been a difference. He probably got that kill if he didn't.
100% would have, yeah.
The team's trying to make it more difficult on Slasher.
But they've got him pinned now. They've got him pinned right now. Can Nathan cross? He does, so that will give Epsilon a chance. Vortex needs to wait enough time to make Hook have to react to the player overextending.
And Hook just saw him cross. No, he didn't. I thought it looked like he got the peek on him crossing for a moment, but yeah, not going to win that gunfight. EnVy keeps on cruising.
That was a great play from EnVy. Once they realized the players were backing up out of Bell, they sent 1 to the top ruins area, and then they had Hook in mid-fire. Nathan, thankfully, at least was able to cross just in time. But still, 5-1 EnVy, and the 1 round they lost was an incredible 1v2 clutch from Nathan.
It's good the second player from EnVy pushed the back through Bell immediately to help. If he doesn't do that, Hook's in a really tough spot. He's got 1 to watch in the back.
Yep.
He can get flanked at any point from fire or the push through a cut. EnVy proven to be the better team in that 2v2.
And this for me is an all-out assault type round from Epsilon. They're looking for anything they can get. They try to stun middle and rush it. Both players die. Now 3v2. Will EnVy pick up on the fast flank? Yes, they will.
Second time. Hockey's been so close to having great timing, but EnVy sniffs it out. Last time it was Hook. This time it was Slasher. Bomb getting planted now. Dave all the way over in Ruins has got to wrap out, and he has to clutch a 1v3 for Epsilon's life. But this has been a dominating effort from EnVy.
Yeah, this was not even close. This one should have been 7-0. GG's. EnVy, after a little bit of a shaky map 1, look electric in Search and Destroy, and you were talking about how that's the game mode they thought they were weakest in right now. Not the case in this game 2.
No, they look very good. It just felt like it seemed the communication was on point. Like, I don't know, every time they were in this sort of a 2v2 scenario and needed to clutch up and work together, well, they did that. Anytime they needed to trade effectively, they did that. Anytime they needed to be ready for the flank, they were. It seemed like comms were really up. So it's probably, the players that were dead, whoever would fall first, doing a good job of kind of giving the other guys information. But yeah. I don't know, it seemed that it was working very, very well for the boys in blue.
Wow, EnVyUs look electric there in game 2, and they now have a 2-0 series lead over Epsilon, who look great in the Pro League Challenge, but their Pro League struggles continue. When we come back, capture the flag. Don't go anywhere.
control of this best of 5 versus Epsilon. Jack, you said it best there to close it out after map 2. Their Pro League woes continue. Epsilon trying to prove they can hang. So far, though, in this one, struggling to prove that.
And we know the two teams that have made these certain team changes, well, not team changes, role changes from week 1 to week 2. One being Epsilon, the other being Unilad. Epsilon, all right, they've got their hands full with Envy. We'll see what Unilad can do, I believe, later on today.
Scrap Sub and Moose like the primary are now?
I believe it's something along those lines.
Yeah.
But either way, will be interesting to see how this kind of caters to their matches in week 2. Right now, you see by the score line, a close game there on London Docks Hardpoint. But wow, the struggle on that Forest Search and Destroy. It was very one-sided. We're now in a game 3, though. Capture the flag on London Docks. And off the break, we're watching Envy.
Well, if the game sound is as loud for you guys, your ears probably feel like mine.
Oh,
but here we
I actually just screamed into my talkback mic, like, what just happened?
Here we go. CTF, London Docks, Temp now left alone top middle. It's just one player really up from either side.
I think I heard the rat scurry across the screen. That's how loud the game sound was.
Why are there so many footsteps?
But off the break, it is advantage to Epsilon as they begin to push up the map. You see Dave trying to play sneaky, going towards lower docks, and Hockey so far this series has played exceptionally well on London Docks in the top middle area. He did it with the SMG and the Hardpoint, now doing it again here off the break in the CTF.
Dave, trying to be sneaky. Well, sneakiness does not pay off.
Doesn't work there as Envy will get a full 4 dead on Epsilon and Surge right at the map.
I'm trying to set up the draw.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Dave sneaking through lower dock, and Slasher just snaps and he's gone.
This is his chance right here to change the game first, and he's dead. Now it's Envy's turn. They're soaring on in, 3 dead. The 4th is in the back of the map. They know he's there. Nade is missed. Flag is pulled, and because they get that lower spawn, they know they just need to watch mid-cage and the overextension to their side. Temp, I don't think he realized they already spawned in lights.
Yeah, they're not.
Envy have no idea that this is going to happen.
He tries to dive in. The kill's not there. Hockey gets it done, and that's just a timing thing. Like, you have to know 2 are coming off spawn. I know it's not the easiest thing in the game, you know, tracking those 4 players exactly when they drop, when they're coming back in. I know it can be difficult, but there, just a little bit awkward. It
was Temp who had the awkward timing and kind of made that possible for Epsilon to do. But on the same end, it's Temp that saves it from being a 1-0 lead for Epsilon as he gets the 2-piece there with the pistol and pulls the flag out to give us a stalemate. Oh, Slasher gets 1 bullet or 2 bullets downrange, but Dave, because he has infantry, the bayonet on the end of the weapon.
Temp's in trouble.
Yeah.
Temp's in trouble. That nade lands, but Temp guns him. Dave had a chance. He hits his shots there. He can make the play. Now pushing in through underground. There's the kills, the return, the score. Full streaks for Temp. And, yeah, Temp, I mean, got a little bit unfortunate on one side of the play, but then comes up big on the other end. I mean, not just getting the 2 kills in the basing and the flag out, but then the clutch up on the 1v1 versus Dave as well.
Yep. No, great stuff right there from Temp. Made up for the awkward play in middle map. 2.5 minutes into this first side, and so far it has been all Envy in the scores. Book with 1, can't stay alive as Nathan's trying to sneak through back bus, but I believe, yeah, Slasher sniffs him out. 4 dead again, and here's the thing. The reason why this has been tough so far for Epsilon Maven is that is the 3rd time already in the opening 3 minutes where they have had a very clean 4 dead, where Envy has had full peace of mind and knowledge of where every single player will be coming off spawn. Look at what that causes. Slasher just throws the nade at the 1 door. 4 dead again. 4 times in 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Envy, they don't even need to send anyone back. Cap that flag and go for another.
Yeah, this is ugly. But yeah, I love that. You saw all 4 stacked up in the back coming off spawn. He just tosses that Kobe there. An easy 3-piece for Slasher as his reign of terror here in the Pro League continues. Streak now up to 5. Pressure continuing from Envy. Reinforcements coming in, but not before Slasher does get dropped. Hook's close to streaks as well.
Here's what's crazy, Maven. Slasher is a COD World Champion in our first year of the CWL. Got the 2nd at last year's COD Champs. And I would say right now, this is the best he's ever looked as in his own individual skill.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue. He's been absolutely brilliant. He's had stretches in the past couple of years that have been darn close to matching this. It's just, God, man, he is so talented.
These streaks are going to be burned right away by Temp. Here comes the fighter pilot.
Get the flag carrier.
Gets both.
Big play. The return should be here. I think Classic's going to get to that first.
Yep.
There's the return.
Streaks are pretty good. Streaks are pretty good when no one's using Mount at CTF.
And that's the part of it, like, that play there, without the streaks, Epsilon might be right back in this game.
Oh, that's a cap without streaks. The 3 players were just coming off spawn and back bus.
No, absolutely. And if you think about it, you're down 1, feeling like you could mount this comeback, but nice shots there. Temp, I mean, he misses a bullet or 2 on that second player at the flag. That could be a very different story. So I know you don't want to say clutched up with the streak exactly, but he didn't miss.
Nope.
He hit the shots he needed to and goes big.
And look at Slasher. His goal, not to go into the half at 2-0. His goal will be up 3-0. Going into the second side. They've got 1 more player they've got to kill. Nathan is in the perfect spot, though, to play spoiler. There's 1, there's 2. Nice job by him to relieve some pressure. We will go into the half with EnVy up 2-0 over Epsilon, 5 minutes away from kicking off week 2 with a 3-0 sweep.
Yeah, and I guess you shouldn't be shocked. I mean, I thought we saw some signs of life from Epsilon in map 1, but it's like you kind of forget about it after map 2. But the way that first half went, you've absolutely forgotten about it.
Yeah. Nice shots from Slasher. That was the 2-piece he got right before that flag was pulled by Epsilon. If you're Epsilon right now, you've got to figure out a way, I guess, to not go 4 dead 4 times in one side. And
you heard Mad Cat talk about this team, and I know he had some choice words for particular members of Epsilon, but the big thing he pointed out, like, when you drop somebody like Josh, you need to bring in another leader. They don't do that, and I think you can kind of see a lack of vocal leadership in CTF. You know how crucial it is in something like this. Maybe you don't run into some of those 3 or 4 down scenarios if you have a little bit better leadership.
I think that's exactly why we saw so much success for FaZe when they added replays back to the lineup for CTF. He's someone that can absolutely call the shots for the team. Epsilon do get a flag pull right off the break, but it's quickly thwarted by EnVy, as they're just trying to look for any opportunity they can to get a few dead on the boys in blue and go for a flag pull.
Well, they've at least got kind of half map, or mid-map controlled right now. EnVy trying to fight their way out of spawn. Vortex now getting in through Cole. Slasher spotted him for just a moment, I believe, before hitting underground. So that at least slows Slasher up for a moment. But at the same time, Vortex, he's not going to be able to get through with an FG42 sitting in the back. Okay, did he just beam Slasher? He must have got some decent timing or not missed a bullet there, because I thought with Slasher back in underground with FG42, there's no way he's going to push out a Cole.
No, this should be a capture for Epsilon.
I would love to know what that gunfight looked like, because that had to have been a hell of a win.
Yep, nope, that's a cap for Epsilon. Silver lining for EnVy, as the man capping it is, you know, not even close to earning streaks still. But hey, they've still got the pressure on, and look at the mini-map. Oh my goodness. Are EnVy throwing this game? Are EnVy throwing this game? There's the pull. Epsilon now beginning to find some synergy. Nade comes in.
Slasher, my God! How sick was that, though? If he doesn't hit those first 3 shots and then the perfect nade and 1 bullet to follow it up, that might be a second flag.
Gets the 3rd kill as well. Slasher removing 3 of the 4 Epsilon players from the map and saves a cap rally to keep his team in the lead.
Like, from that position, if that player gets, what, 1 more, like a step and a half to that edge, he can't make that play. Wow, nice stuff. But Hockey, you mentioned the fact that he's coming up with these crucial kills, especially around mid-map. He's been coming in with those 2 pieces time and time again that are giving them a chance.
We've seen a couple holes in the EnVy setup right now where they're giving up lanes that they need to make sure they keep thought of there. They don't think about Cage having already been hit. We saw earlier they didn't think about the fact that players could have already spawned in lights and overextended. It's why I think this game is a little bit closer than it really should be with how good EnVy's been playing.
Well, EnVy will get a flag out now, though, but as Nathan wins one on water side.
Temp is here, though.
Temp's calling in streaks. He will get out of it, though. He called in a mortar. He gets out of it just in time there to pick up the kill. Picks up the second as well. It's pushing through. That's going to open up a lane for the flag carrier, and it's all going to be on Dave. Dave's got to try and make a play. He has 1 teammate mid-map as well, but I don't think it's going to be in time. Cap goes through. 3-1 EnVy, but a counter opportunity here now. 4 players on EnVy drop in pretty quick succession. You're going to get this out. I don't know that you have any streaks left to work with for EnVy to slow this down.
Nope.
This should be a quick score. Nice counter.
4 dead goes a long way, especially when they're in quick succession. You can get 4 dead, but if it's only for, you know, a fraction of a second, it doesn't really do much. But when you get 4 dead in a matter of a 3 to 5 second window and the respawn delay is 7.5 seconds, that's why Epsilon have gotten these flags out and capped.
Oh, it's huge. Absolutely huge. You're getting to safety before they have a chance to make a play. And now the streaks for EnVy were critical earlier. Now you get streaks for Epsilon as well. Hook still trying to play a little bit of offense here. He does get the flag in his hand, trying to book it out. He's going to have Vortex wrapping behind him. He's going to need some help. Streak going to be coming in. They'll call his position, but he's gotten into lights. Still trying to book it around the edge. Hook's still going. He's still going.
Watch behind
He's got a little bit of help. Temp gets to the edge just in time that he'll be able to make the play. 4th cap for EnVy.
Wow, that might be the dagger right there, folks. What a route from Hook. Gets the first kill on the player defending the flag and then immediately books it towards Bus. Glide bomb used as well. Still a fighter pilot available for Epsilon, but they are 3 dead again, and the only 2 players up now off spawn are obviously in their side of the map, and with 1 minute left, they need flag pulls. They don't need to be worried about Envy getting another capture.
And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. They should have help in map. Classic should cut in here and give a little bit of help as well. He may not even need it. Now Classic is able to make the play after Nathan and Hockey try to go big. He's tagged up from the edge, won't be able to get it out.
Here's their chance.
He had a perfect rally, basically.
If they get another 4 dead and a wave of kills here, they will have a chance in this game. If Envy do anything to stop this push, this is GG. First kill there for Dave with the AR. Temp now with the challenge. Temp now dead. There's the entries. 37 seconds
Streak
left.
coming in. Streak
Fighter
coming in.
pilot as well. They've gotten the 3rd kill. No pull, though, as Classic and Slasher hold the front line. Dave now dead. The last hope in Hockey. I don't think it's going to be enough.
The hope will die with him, and
Wow.
there it is. Slasher finds the kill. He's 26 and 13. We talked about his unusual slow start to Hardpoint, but God, did he come alive the rest of the way in the series. He led the way in the search, leads the way here in CTF, and Envy get a crispy 3-0.
Honestly, you think of the caps that Epsilon saw, and just like the S&D with the 1 round given away, you think Envy's lead could be much bigger here. GG's, though. EnVyUs start off week 2 of Division B with a perfect 3-0 sweep over Epsilon.
Yeah, and they looked good doing it. I mean, for the most part, outside of a couple moments, obviously, but they're looking stronger and stronger. You know, I said there are a handful of teams in Division A and Division B that you think have the biggest room to improve, that will really pay the most dividends here at the league by playing day in and day out on LAN. And Envy is on a short list of people that can really skyrocket, you think, in overall skill. Maybe not skill, but just the performance for the team. And I know it's maybe not the most